Football season is back, and kicking us off first, we have the Atlanta Falcons, who went out and finally got themselves a decent quarterback in Kirk Cousins, and then still decided to draft Michael Penix Jr. What goes on in that front office, I don't really know. After paying Kirk $180 million for the next 4 years, you'd think they'd go and draft someone like Dallas Turner to help increase their chances this season. They did go out and get Justin Simmons, Matt Judon, and Darnell Mooney, who will be massive playmakers for the Falcons if they can stay healthy. Falcons finished last season 7-10 with Desmond Ridder starting most of those games. So this season they're getting a massive upgrade in Kirk Cousins if he's still the same player he was before his injury. A lot of people were high on the Falcons this year after their offseason, but I just think it's too soon to tell whether or not Kirk will still be that guy. There's no doubt that they will have one of the best defenses in the league, with arguably the best safety duo in the league of Simmons and Bates. One guy they can look to for help is their 2023 rookie Bijan Robinson, who had a great first season, just rushing under 1,000 yards. I expect him to have another great year. With more threats on offense, it should open up the run game a lot more for him. Looking at their schedule, their toughest stretch of games will be their first 4, with the Steelers, Eagles, Chiefs, and the Saints. If they can't at least split their first 4, the pressure will be on. So heading into the season, I have them going 9-8 at worst. I think they have a lot of potential to be one of the top teams in the NFC this year. It's all really just going to come down to whether Kirk is still that guy. And if he is, I think they can finish 12-5. But we'll just have to see, because knowing the Falcons, they'll probably go out and blow a few leads. Now onto the worst team in football last season, finishing 2-15. Now I expected them to be bad last season, but not that bad. And to make things worse, not only were they the worst team in football, but they don't even have their first round pick, as they traded it away last season to the Bears to draft Bryce Young, who threw 11 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Now his O-line did suck, to the point where it almost felt like the Panthers went out and signed some random people off the street. But honestly, some of the throws and decisions he made just weren't it. They did go out and make some signings this offseason, getting Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis to help out their offensive line, which was a must-need after allowing 65 sacks. They also got Bryce a couple more weapons in Deontay Johnson and Xavier Leggett after only having Adam Thielen to throw to last season. The Panthers will be under Dave Canellis this season, who will be a massive help to Bryce, and I do feel as though this will be a critical season for Bryce Young. After putting all these pieces around him, now I'm not expecting him to go out and win the division, but he does need to show some improvement if the Panthers are going to keep him around. Considering their current roster and schedule, I have them going 4-13 at worst. This is if Bryce has a similar year to last and there's just next to no improvement. But if he can be the player he showed he was back in college, I think they can finish off the season 6-11, which isn't great. But you have to realize they won 2 games last season. 2. I don't want to even imagine what being a Panthers fan is like. Next, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who took out the division last year, I think surprising most people. But to be honest, their team was pretty good on paper. There was questions around Baker Mayfield and if he can be that guy for the Bucs, and they seem to think so, after extending him to a 3-year, $100 million contract, along with star wide receiver Mike Evans on a 2-year deal. Last year, the Bucs took out the struggling Eagles in the wildcard round and put up a good fight against the Lions to round out their season. The Bucs have done well to keep most of their team together for this season, only losing star Shaquille Barrett, so no doubt they will be in the race with more chemistry going into this season. They did go out and sign Bryce Hall from the Jets to help their struggling defensive backs, which was a must-need for the Bucs as they ranked 30th in passing defense last season. The Bucs also went out and drafted Graham Barden, which will be a massive help to their O-line and hopefully opens up that struggling run game for them. Although they struggled on offense last season, they did have some bright spots on the defensive end, ranking 5th in run defense and 7th in total points allowed per game. Their schedule is a challenging one, with their toughest games against the Ravens, 49ers, and the Chiefs. I can also see them splitting games with some of their divisional rivals, so for that reason I have them going 7-10 at worst. Coming into this year, their chemistry should be at an all-time high, but without a proven run game, I just can't see them doing any better than 10-7. Now, it is the NFC South, so I expect it to come down to the last couple of weeks to decide who will take out the division. And last but not least, the New Orleans Saints, who I've missed watching you not play for the first 3 quarters to finally start trying in the 4th when it's too late. Ever since we lost Breeze, we just haven't been able to find our groove. And for a brief time, we all thought Jameis might be the one until his injury. And since then, we've just bounced from quarterback to quarterback. Which brings us to where we are now with Derek Carr, going into Season 2, and honestly, I think we have a chance to take out the NFC. Call me delusional all you want. But we went 9-8 last season while struggling to stay healthy. I'm expecting Carr to be much better this year after getting some chemistry under his belt with this offense. The front office also fired Pete Carmichael finally and hired Cliff Kuerbeck, who will definitely utilize our weapons better. We also went out and signed Chase Young and Willie Gay, who will be great additions on the defensive end. A lot of it's going to come down to whether they can stay healthy or not. We also went out and drafted Talesi Fauga, addressing the O-line issues, which is going to take a lot more than just one player, but it's a start. We also went and drafted Spencer Rattler, who fell to the 5th round, who has shown huge potential in training camp and preseason. So even if this season doesn't go to plan, at least we have a potential star in the making. The team did lose Michael Thomas, but to be honest, he hasn't been the same player since that 2019 season due to injuries. I do feel as though Rashid will have a massive increase in production this year, and hopefully we will see that deep ball connection with Carr every single game. Year after year we're falling short, and this truly might be our last season until we burn it all down and start over again if it isn't a successful campaign. The Saints actually might have one of the easiest schedules in the league, so I have us going 8-9 at worst, but if we can stay healthy with all the new additions to the team, I can see us finishing 12-5. So to round out everything, I have the Saints winning the division. I have the Falcons coming in 2nd and making the playoffs. I have the Bucs coming 3rd, and I have the Panthers in last, although I don't think that they will be the worst team in the league this season. Anyway, let us know what you think below. Until next time, bye.